Now we'll see one database table in the SAP system. So after login, in the command field, enter transaction code SE11. This is the initial screen of DDIC, that is data dictionary. Here we can see different radio button. First one is for database tables, views, data types, type group, domain, search help, log object. Okay, so based on our requirement, we have to select the required button, radio button. So here first I am going to display one database table, that is MARA, M-A-R-A. This is a common table in every SAP system, whether you are working in ECC or S4HANA, any version, no matter. This table will be there. So here we have to click on display because this is SAP standard table. Even if you click on change, system will ask you some key details and all. Okay, so just click on display here. So here we can see this is a transparent table. Fine. And in the attributes, we can see who has created this table. So it is created by SAP. In the delivery and maintenance delivery class, if you want to see the detail of any field, just select that and click function key F1 from your laptop. So you can see the detail of that. This I will explain when we are creating the custom table. Now we'll focus on the fields. As I explained, every table, okay, it's contain different number of columns. So here all the fields, this first column, so all those fields are the column of the table. We can see the first field is MATNAR, first is mandate, that is client, which I already explained in our introduction session. For simple way, just understand client is a partition in a server. So here we can see this client is 800. Okay, the first column is mandate, second is MATNAR, that is material ID. Then we have the next field called as a created on, created by. Okay, all those are called as the columns. Fine. And here we can see this key field. This key field means we can have a unique record with this key combination. Let me first display the content. How to check the table content? Click here, contents. Okay, if I execute this, see all those are columns. Mandate is a column. Here you can see 800 because I log in the 800 client, and this is MATNAR. There is other field created by, created on. Okay, created by, created on, and like material type. Those all the different columns in this table. The first two field we can see on a light blue color. Those are called as a key field. The key field means, suppose if one article which we created with the CM-FL-V01, again you cannot have the same record with the same field. Okay, means with one number we can create only one record because this is a single key field. Fine, with the client 800. Let me give you other example here. If we talk about like student database, take example, we have two class. One is like class 5th, division A, B and C. And then like we have roll number here. Okay, so let's say class 5th, division A and roll number 1. Right? We have one class, then we have class, then we have division, and then we have roll number. Fine. See, roll number 1 here we have for division A, but we also have the division B, right? This means that in the class 5th, division B, we can also have the roll number 1. This is also possible, right? Same with the division C, right? This means that whenever we are designing a database for such requirement, so in this case we will require 3 key field. Why I will explain. Let me add one more here, class 10. Okay, So suppose if you are designing a table with only one field as a roll number, then if you create one roll number 1, then we cannot again create a roll number because this is a unique key. Fine. This means that for such database, we require 3 key fields. One is for the class, second is for the division, third is for the roll number. Because for the class 5th, division A, we will have one roll number. Same for the class 5th, roll number B, division B. Same for class 10, division C, and roll number 1. Okay. In the same division, we cannot have two records with the same, right? Like we can never have the record like this, class A, division A, roll number 1. This is not possible, right? In one class, one division, roll number 1 can be exist only one time. Then we will have roll number 2. Okay. Then in the same class, same division, we will have roll number 3. I mean this means that with all this combination is making a unique record. Okay. This combination of 3 columns is making a unique record. If you are working on such tables, then we require 3 key field 1, 2, 3. Fine. So come back to our Mara table. So this is the key field of this table. Now I will go back. Now what is data element? Okay, here on the right hand side we can see the data element. So through the data element, the labels are assigned. What is label? Let me double click here. I'm double clicking on data element. Right? Here we can see the top, it is data element. And here we have one field label. So whenever we are doing the screen designing or we are creating some reports, so we can get this label automatically through the data element. So let me show you the MM01 screen. Transaction code is MM01, which is used for the creation of material. Okay, this is the Mara table, right? This is Mara table. I shown the content, but from where this data is coming? The data comes here whenever user creates any new article, any new material through this MM01. So what I will do, I will just try to create here one material. Let me try to create one material here. Okay, let's say ZK laptop. This one article I am creating, ZK laptop 3. Deselect all the views. I will create only basic data 1. So here if you see, here we can see the material. So this material, this label comes from the data element. Okay, so data element we use to assign the labels to the field. Fine. The second field, I will show one more field here. Let's say means. Here we can see, if you double click on means, here we can see the label as base unit of measure. Those are different length, which we'll learn later. As of now, consider only this field label. Data elements are used to assign the labels to the field. And if I go to a screen, here we can see the base unit of measure. So data element is used to assign the label to the field. How to see the data element on the dictionary? For data element, we have to select this option, data type, enter the data element matnar, click on display. So here we can see data element. Okay, and the field label. Now after data element, the next object is domain. Okay, again I am going to matnar here. Now in the data type, here we can see the domain. So what is the domain? Through the domain, the data types is assigned. What is mean the data type? Whether this is a character, whether this is a number, whether this is a date. Like if you're talking about one person, so number is a character, right? In name, we never have the numbers. Like I'm Zafar. So my name is spelling ZAFAR. So we don't have number in that. So whenever we are designing a database table, first we have to identify the columns which we required along with data type. So for the name, we'll use data type as char. And let's say next field we want date of birth. It is a date field, right? Similarly, for salary, we have the amount field. Like this, there are different data types in SAP. So data types are assigned through domain. So for domain, again double click here on this matnar. Now you can see here, this is domain. So at the domain level, the data type is assigned. Here this field is character and the length is 40. This means that this field contain a record with the max length of 40 character. Suppose this record we are entering, the max length can be 40 character. Fine. Along with this, at the domain level, we can also control, suppose if you are working with the currency field, amount field, whether we require sign, whether the negative sign is allowed or not for that field. And for the character field, if you want to make case sensitive, whether you want to accept both the upper and lower case letter for that field, so we can control here. If you mark this, select this checkbox, system will accept both the lower case and the upper case. If you're not selecting this checkbox for this particular field, system will always store the data in capital letter only, not in small. Okay, here at the domain level, we have one more option, value range. This we'll learn later stage. With this, we can restrict the values for this field. If you maintain value 1, 2, 3, 4, so whenever we are entering the values, system will check whether it is a valid value or not. Better we'll learn this at the later stage. As of now, consider the domain is used to assign the data type, character, dates, okay, currency, etc. Fine. How to see the domain? In the dictionary level, ABAP dictionary, here we have the domain option. Again, I will enter here matnar. If I click on display, we can see the same screen. Right? So, this is the overview of database table. Every table has the number of columns. We have to specify here. Then data element. And for the data element, the domain is assigned, which actually provides the technical attributes. Here we can see the matnar is the character type. Length is 40. Here we can see a date of last change. This is date, right? So for that, we have data type dates. Okay. And SAP internal length is 8 character. SAP always store the date with the 8 character YYYY DD YYYY MMDD. Okay. This is the format. Similarly, we can see some other data types here. If you have amount, yeah, this is num_c, which we can enter only number here. Fine. This is called a two-level domain concept. For every field, first we have to assign data element and then domain. We can also use here the predefined type, built-in types. Instead of using data element, we can also directly assign data type char and the length here. That is also possible. When we are going for creation of the custom table, there I will explain. Fine. So this is the overview of database table. Okay. Now here I created one record, right? Okay. Let me create this completely. In MM01, I entered here laptop 03. This is my ID. I will enter description. Let me enter base unit of measure each, and I will just save this record. Okay. I will save this record. So we can see the new article is created. Now when the new material is created, we can go to Mara table. In the content, I will enter that ID, and this is the execute button. So here we can see the unique record is created with this material. Fine, we can see all the details here which I enter. Okay, now again with the same T code, if I am entering the same material again, if I press enter, laptop 3, see here, material already maintained for this transaction event. This is wrong message, but this means that with this ID, we already have one record exit in the system. And this is a unique key. That's why we cannot again create the same material with the same key. Fine. So this is the importance of the key fields. So here we have two key fields. Up maximum 16 fields we can mark as a key field in SAP. And this is the initial value. If you're not passing any value, system will have some default initial value that we'll see later. So in the overview session, we will learn how to display database table, and we display table Mara, and we come to know like in every table we have columns, fields, data elements, and domain. Okay, so next session what we'll do, we'll create a custom table. This is a standard table, right? SAP standard table. So from the next session, we'll learn how to develop a custom DDIC object, how to create custom table, how to create custom data element and domain. Okay, that we'll learn from next session onwards. Thank you.